Hey everybody, it's Cheyenne Adamson. I'm back at you with another video, and I'm your host. And this is where homeschoolers, teachers, and educators everywhere, they come for valuable teaching information and insights. And today's topic is a juicy one. You guys are really going to love it, especially all of my fellow homeschoolers out there, and homeschoolers to be, more importantly. Because as homeschoolers know, homeschooling is not exactly the same as doing schoolwork at home. And so this is really going to help all of my audience out there, all of you folks who are maybe thinking about going the homeschool route and transitioning from public school to homeschool. That's what this video is all about. And I've got 7 pillars of strength and advice that's going to help you guys transition from the public school all the way over to the homeschool realm. And hopefully it is insightful and helps you guys out a lot. As you guys know, and especially all my homeschoolers right now know, that doing schoolwork at home isn't exactly the same as homeschooling. And so when you and your student transition from the public school to the homeschool environment, you may both find yourself on an emotional roller coaster. It's gonna happen. It's a totally new thing, and it's a bit daunting, I have to say, where you're gonna control the whole entire curriculum, you're gonna control what you teach. It's so worth it, and there's so much fun to be had, you guys. I think you're really gonna enjoy this. So let's get started. Number 1 on our tips and tricks list today is to gather your endurance for the long haul. So if you guys are struggling with homeschooling, just be encouraged. The first year is always the toughest. So if you're struggling with homeschooling, be encouraged. To remind yourself that you have chosen to homeschool your children for very important reasons. And there's a definite adjustment period involved in switching from public school to homeschool, but that period can last for about a year. And even when parents and children are eager to homeschool, the change in attitude may not happen immediately. So number 2 on our tips and tricks list today is to understand the emotional challenge. If your child had difficulties at public school or didn't enjoy that experience at all, which is totally common and happens all the time, they might be really relieved to be totally separate from that setting. And so it's really important for you as a new homeschooler, new homeschooling mom, or new homeschooling dad to be supportive in this transition in their lives. Probably a really simplistic thing to say, but it's important. So go ahead and talk to your child about the change from public school to homeschooling and address their concerns or questions about the new schooling method or environment without disregarding their feelings. So number 3 on our pillars of advice, practical advice, is to key on your student's interests. So be willing to learn the things that he or she is interested in and how he would prefer to study them. So go ahead and find the areas of personal interest to your child and focus in on those, hone in on them. It can make a tremendous difference in the level of motivation and create a valuable bond between the two of you at the same time. You're basically killing 2 birds with 1 stone there. Wait, mom's letting me study this? This is school? Another kind of an important tip on this is to remember education was taking place long before the first textbook was ever written. And topics that are rife with educational opportunities that will truly motivate your child include filmmaking, photography, acting, cars, dolls, boats, building toy models, and that's just a few. So number 4 on our practical advice and our pillars for strength is to create your child's learning environment and know that it might be one of the most important elements of your homeschooling success. And you'll also want to gather supplies, infrastructure that are fun and useful and tidy that will also be a part of your infrastructure, so to speak, for your environment. Will you be conducting classes at the kitchen table? So these are a few thoughts when you're gathering all these supplies and gathering and making your homeschool environment. Do you need a blackboard or maybe a desk? How about an empty wall space to post schedules or calendars and completed work? And is there a computer nearby that's connected to the internet? It's going to be really important. Get organized by purchasing storage cabinets and bookshelves for holding textbooks and workbooks. So all this stuff is going to be super handy and super useful when it comes to creating your homeschool environment. So number 5 is to create time. You're going to want to create a homeschooling schedule with both structure and flexibility. And while a schedule makes some people feel constricted, it actually helps, especially in the beginning, especially when you want to be organized and have a mission. And another thing you can do is buy a planner and maybe consider how you might want to break up your learning week by week. Flexibility is one of those key appeals of homeschooling. You can always adapt your schedule to your child's changing needs. So no problem on that. You are the educator, you are the homeschooler, and you can do whatever you want. And number 6 on our practical advice and our pillars of strength for your transition is to find a good curriculum. Now this is really key. There's a lot of free resources out there, you guys. As a matter of fact, I offer a free resource. It's called the Mnemonic Phonic technique, and you guys can check it out on YouTube. I'll link it in the beginning of this video, and I'll also put it in the description below. It teaches the 72 Orton phonograms, and it also has unique captions and clever mnemonic catchphrases. That's one of the few of many resources that you guys can check out for free. I also recommend the Khan Academy. I also recommend the American School of Correspondence when your child gets into the high school area. And those are just a couple of the many great resources that you have. So as a homeschool parent, you're going to be making up a lot of things as you go. Don't let that get you down. You also don't have to invent everything on your own either. You don't have to reinvent the wheel here. As a matter of fact, there's a great book that I think you guys should check out. It's called The Writing Road to Reading by Orton-Spalding. But The Writing Road to Reading is a fairly inexpensive book to pick up. It is a bit comprehensive and at times can be a little daunting, for lack of better words, but the information is there, and if you guys want a really quick and cheap alternative to a great curriculum, that is it right there. But anyways, what you should look for, I believe, in a phonetic language arts curriculum is that it should be comprehensive, and it should also come with some sort of a program manual. It should have lesson plans. It might have a spelling notebook and a chart of spelling rules or worksheets, and it might have something to color in as well, and then some audio and visual references as well, learning the 72 Orton phonogram. You guys can obviously browse around. We have the internet. Check out the best deals and see what resonates with you. So number 7, you guys, on our strength and pillars of advice. Here, sorry, let me take that back. Cut. And number 7, lastly but not leastly, is high school diplomas. Eventually, your child is going to be high school age, and they're going to want to go ahead and get a high school diploma. But they might not necessarily want to go to a public school. But there is an option available if you guys don't want to go the traditional public school route, and that is the American School of Correspondence, or something like that. I personally, when I was in high school, I went till I was a sophomore, and then I enrolled in the American School of Correspondence. What that looked like was they sent me my schoolwork through the mail, and I did everything, completed all the subjects that I needed to actually complete for my high school diploma. I sent everything back through the mail. They graded as we went per assignment, and I graduated with a full accredited high school diploma that was good for the University of Montana. It was good for the Montana State University, any Northwestern university it was good for, and it was an actual high school diploma. Not only does it free them up time to go work or to pursue their hobbies or interests, but it also kind of gives them an idea of what it's like to be a self-start. It's a great exercise in critical thinking and to promote entrepreneurship. And that's it for today's video, you guys. Thank you so much for watching, as always. And you know what, you guys, you should go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Maybe give me a like or a dislike, depending on if you didn't like the video. And until next time, my fellow educators, be well, stay classy.